to another episode of Conversations with Dr. Silva, TV show where your voice matters. And, this is an opportunity for our guests to talk about what they're really passionate about. And I believe in the African proverb, it takes a whole village to raise a child. I also believe in what John F. Kennedy said, ask not what your country could do for you, but what you could do for your country. And I say, you know what? Let's ask what our community could do for each other. So this gives you an opportunity to do that. So today we have a recurring guest, Haim. Haim, welcome again.
Good evening.
Thank you for coming. And Haim, what are we talking about today?
This is the time of the year when not everyone, many people set resolution for the new year.
That is true.
And they have a dream in their mind and they want to say, this year I'm going to make that happen. This year I'm going to go for it. And they take the time and they plan how this year going to be. And for some reason, by February, it's gone. It's nothing there.
Right.
We forgot. Why it happened? Why people can keep what they promise to themselves? This is the point. I mean, you promise something to yourself, you take the time, you plan on that, but you don't take the action. Yeah, and it's like it's a goal setting. It's the same area, and people setting goal sometime during the year, not necessarily in the beginning of the year, but the majority of people start in the beginning of the year. And why it happened? Because the mind all the time have the tendency to go back to safety.
Right. Go back to your comfort zone. Right?
Comfort zone. Go back to safety. Now, when you see the work that you have to do, yeah, that's take you off from whatever you're looking to achieve. And what usually happen, I mean, when we're planning on something to have in life, kind of dream, some of vision, we think about that about 2 to 3 minutes, no more than that. And then we see the future, we see what we want to have in our life and what we're going to achieve. What will happen then, we start to see what the back result that we have. So in the past year, now we start to rehearse it. I know last year I say I'm going to do this, but I start to work and it was so hard. So you need to start rehearse the past now.
Okay.
The past taking over, and you forgot from your dream. Now you see the work that you have to do. Yeah. Now you let it go. Now you don't find the resource. You don't find the inside power. You lack of to motivation for yourself. Yeah. And you let it go by January. Say, well, nobody know. I say it to myself. I didn't share it with anybody. So nobody know what I say to myself. I can let it go.
So remind me again. So what is the title for today's show?
It's how to keep the new resolution going on.
So
yeah?
Goal setting.
Right, goal setting.
Okay.
Yeah, and here is the thing. When people set goal, usually it's go to 3 stages. The first stage, people go what they know how to do.
Okay.
So this is not goal setting. You don't set goal. You just know how to do it. What's stopping you from doing that? It's again, when you think about the future and you start to rehearse the past to see what the result that you're going to get, that's stopping you. That's holding you from keep doing the work. The second level of goal setting, is you think that you can do it. You never did that, but you think you can do it. So it's possible. It's not a goal. I call it target.
Okay.
Yeah, and who's stopping you from going there? Nobody. Yourself. The real goal the third level of goal, which is the real goal. And this, when you take something that you never did in your life, something that you have no clue how to start, you have no idea what you're going to need, and you want to go for it. For instance, I mean, this, I'm exaggerating on purpose, but you want to go to the moon.
Okay.
Yeah? You have no clue, you have no idea, you know that few people done it. Yeah? But you need to start from scratch to make that happen. And if you make that happen, that's a real goal. All the rest I call a target. And when you switch the name, yeah, even when you say the New Year resolution, if you set target to yourself, it's much easier to get than you use bombastic word, New Year resolution or goal setting. Think about that. Say, I set target. My target is to get from point A to point B. There is action step that I need to take along the way. Yeah? And what you need to look for support. Who support you on your decision? Yeah? And don't let other people opinion to go into your head. When you do that, any opinion that you get is against what you wish. It's against what you want.
Okay.
People think that they know better than you. They talk from their experience. Yeah? And that's not working for you. This is not good for you. So I said something, I need your support. I don't need your opinion. Yeah? If you're able to say it to people, now you put them in a place that I need to make a decision. I support you, or I tell you what to do. Or I'm going to tell you what's work, what doesn't work, according to my experience. And your experience doesn't count. I need to have the experience, not you.
So let me ask you something. You said something about when a person is attempting to pursue their goal. You said something that they perhaps never done before. Now, maybe not necessarily something that they necessarily never done before, but something that they, maybe the New Year's resolution they had attempted the year beforehand, which is, there was a statistics that came out many years ago about people, number one New Year's resolution that people usually try to attain is going to the gym,
Right.
getting physically healthy, and so on. So they perhaps may have attempted that in 2017, or 2018, and the statistics says that the gym membership that people sign up for January is astronomical, but usually by February, by March, they're no longer going to the gym. So they did attempt, and they to obtain that goal for the year. I don't know if they targeted, using your terminology, for the entire year, or they said, oh, maybe my target is only going to be for a few months as opposed to the entire year. So what I'm asking is this: is it possible then that that they're again attempting to reach a goal that perhaps they did not succeed at a previous time? That's one question. The other thing that you mentioned as well is that if somebody's never did something before, is it possible to them to emulate or copy, somebody else's goal, where the person says, what, these are the steps that I did to obtain this goal. If you follow this formula, you'll be able to obtain that goal as well. I guess the only difference is between that person that perhaps succeeded in getting that goal is that maybe some variables between each one of them: the motivation, like you said, getting the support from others, the intention, the perseverance. Those may be different between each person. But I believe that it's possible that for a person, even though they never accomplished something before or never did it before, they could still perhaps obtain that particular goal by emulating somebody else that did it before him.
Well, that can encourage you.
Okay.
When you see someone else set goal to himself and achieve it, yeah, that can encourage you. Say, well, if he did it, I can do it also.
Right.
Yeah, that's the self-motivation that you get. I can do it. Yeah. Now, what's stopping you is you. Yeah. Now, it's said, if you want to have something that you didn't have before, you need to do something that you didn't do before. Now, you willing to do the work. Here, you don't ask for other people's experience because you can't. It has to be your experience. And what people need most than everything else is to make decision before they do anything else. If you don't make a decision that that's what I want to have in my life, it's going to be hard on you to achieve that because you didn't decide. You kind of still sitting on the fence and you say, well, I would like that, yeah, but let's see what the kind of shortcut I can take to have that. There is no shortcut. There is the actual work that you have to do, the whole 9 yards. People say, I want to lose weight. Yeah, this terminology, I like to use different one, but let's use that, for instance. It's no, you need to change your habit of eating, yeah? You need to change your habit of exercising, yeah? To be more active, yeah? And before you know it, the time running in a way that they have the routine, the habit that's go every day, that's take you away from your goal. Yeah, you all of a sudden you have no time. So I don't have time now to fix healthy meal, so I grab something to eat because I'm hungry.
Okay.
You already jeopardize and you say, okay, just for today, tomorrow I'm going to go back to that. There is no tomorrow. If you skip one day, you're going to skip the whole year. Yeah, and this is the key. I mean, I say something like that. If you quit once and you quit another time, you're quitter. You quit everything. Yeah, but if you go for one and you did it and you stick into that, you're going to learn that. And you're going to have that. And it's again, you do something that you didn't do before. You will get the prize in the end. Yeah? Don't expect to see other people, their experience. You can observe that. Yeah? That can motivate you.
Right.
Say, well, if this guy make it, I think I'm better than him. Yeah? I can do it on. I can do it for myself. That's self-motivation. But again, you need to make the decision. Now, on the most part, people set resolution not for themselves. They want to show others that they can do it. You think about that. There is whatever action that you take, there is string attached. Where the string, where they go, when they start, what the reason you want to be healthy, what the reason you want to lose weight, what the reason you want to go to gym. Usually it's not about us, it's to show other. Yeah, something to talk about.
So you're saying that, so somebody that's saying that, like, okay, I want to be healthy for this upcoming year. I want to lose so much weight and so on. Are you saying that, if I get you correctly, that they're not necessarily doing it for themselves, they're doing it for perhaps for somebody else? And I mean, I could understand that. I could see that.
I didn't say anybody, everybody.
No. I
A big
understand.
portion of the.
No, I understand that, and that's what I was getting to. So I know that, and I've heard this because some friends of mine, some women friends of mine, is like, oh yes, I want to be able to get into that particular bathing suit or so on, because spring is going to be coming after that, or the summer is going to be coming that. I want to look a certain way, So you're saying that perhaps the motivation is not for themselves, but perhaps for someone else.
Here you give great example. yeah, which means she have a bathing suit, yeah, she have a smaller size that she want to fit in. Now, what she gonna do with that? She gonna go to the pool or she gonna go to the beach,
Right.
yeah. Now she wants someone else to see it, so she don't do it for herself.
Right.
She more do it for someone else to
Right.
see it.
Right.
You see where the string
Right.
go? When it's attached to the her self-image. Yeah, which is mean she's gonna look better for other. Yeah, not for herself. And that's what a lot of people do. This is the string that
Right.
when you do something, when you do something that's come from inside. Yeah, from this is something that you want to do, despite what other people think, say, or do. Yeah, here you have more motivation, inside motivation, to get it, to achieve it. Because you ignore what's going on outside, you go to inside, what's going on inside of you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I want to be healthy because I don't want to see doctor. I don't want to use drug. I know that the drug is not healthy for me. So when I'm sick, I'm missing day at work. I'm missing all kind of events that I can go. I'm missing all kind of activity that I can participate. I can't be around people because it's contaminated. It's a virus. So I need to separate myself from everything outside of me. Just by being sick, I don't like that. I don't want that. So I will do something to avoid that. That's something that's come from someplace else. I don't want to show people that I'm healthy. I want to be healthy for myself. Because when I'm healthy, I eliminate all what I mentioned.
You know, it's interesting because the terminology goal, for me, being in the field that I work with, one time I used to work for this agency called North Shore Child and Family Guidance Center. I used to work as a family specialist. So work with families and so on. So we used to come up with a treatment plan. And the treatment plan had a goal, and then we had the objectives. The objectives, you know, to get to that goal. So the objectives were the steps to get to that goal. So that's what we worked with, the families. So the objectives were like small little goals to get to the ultimate goal. And if people perhaps look at it that way, maybe it'll be easier for them to reach those goals that they're looking, you know, to reach. So I was.
It's not maybe. This is the proven way to work. And I give you example. I illustrate that from different area. That let's say that you work in as a salesperson. You sell medical supply. You do it for the sake of the income that come with that.
Mm-hmm.
But what you want to do, yeah, you want to do something for to work with animal. Yeah, that's more close. It's more close to your heart to
Okay.
work with animal. So what I'm suggest to do is to designate time in a day to be around animal. And you start with 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day, you increase it. The next day, you increase it. And you increase it gradually. When the time came that you make the transition, it's smooth. Because you're already doing that.
Okay.
Yeah? When you now switch over, I mean, you get used to that. You know. But when you start from zero, when you come New Year, and you make the resolution to lose weight, and you open member in a gym, and you go to the gym for 2-3 hours, which you didn't go for the last 10 years, for 10 minutes, you're going to suffer. Your body going to ache. Your muscle going to be a lot of crap, a lot of things that it's very. It's not a good feeling. Now you can go to the gym for a week because your body tight. Your muscle tight. You see another reason why it's not working, because you go full force. What you didn't do for a long period of time, you try to achieve in 5 minutes or in 2-3 hours that you go to the gym every day. It doesn't go that way. But if you go 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes a week, every week increase it in another 5 minutes. So your body got used to that over time. Your mind got used to that over time. Because you spend some time, not a lot, in the beginning, small time, to let your body, your mind get used to what the activity that you're into. When the time came to transition, are you already in there? So what you describe now, this is the way to go. Because now you get used to something that now you just do it more.
Exactly. So what do you feel are the usual challenges that people have with setting goals, whatever goals it may be, whether it be goals that they hope to attain in their career, or goals that they hope to attain within a relationship, or with friends, or whatever type of passion that they may have, or hobby that they may have, whatever it may be. What do you believe are usually the primary
There is three steps. I understand when you go with that. There is 3 steps that has to be in place. The first and the most important is to make decision. Yeah, I want to lose weight. I want to look good. I want to get rid of weight. That's the way I say it. I'm not losing weight. I want to get rid of weight. Now you educate yourself what you have to do to make that happen. This is the second stage. And the third stage, you need to have support. Because as the string attached to someplace, on the most part, we want to show other people what we can do. We want to show other what we made from. Yeah? So it's all the time to show other. It's kind of show off. So you need support. When you make decision, you educate yourself, you get support, you will get what you're looking for.
Let me pause there for a second, because this is the second time you said this. That people want to do things to show to somebody else that they can, whatever. Why do you believe that is? Where you would think the primary reason should be for themselves, that they're attempting to get from where they were not before, to a place where they're going to be. That you believe that that'll be motivation enough, that will be satisfaction enough for them. But why do you believe that people need to get the what's the word I'm looking for?
I understand your question, and it's come from childhood. When you start to go to school, yeah, an early age, and you get result from all kind of tests, so your parents sit with you and motivate you and encourage you to do better. And many times they bring example from others. Now they create competitive in your mind. You see that kid? You see what he did? You see your big brother? You saw your younger sister, what she does? You need to be like her. You need to be even better than her. Now they create competitive on everything. So now you do to show your mother, hey, I do better than my sister now, you see? Now you see when it starts. And along the way, it's attached many areas in our life to show others what we can do.
I thought perhaps that...
You get the point?
Yeah, I do understand, the reasoning for that. But I also believe that a lot of times people want other people's approval. You want the first people that you want.
This is the approval. You want to show to your mother to get her approval.
Right. So if you get caught up in that kind of culture, that it's self-reinforcing, because the more you do other things, and perhaps it may not be do for yourself. Be doing for others to get that approval and get that pat on the back or get that encouragement, and you do that in every aspect of your life, whether it be at work, whether it be with friends, whether it be with your relationships, whatever it may be, because it becomes almost like an addiction. And so I think that's something that perhaps assists people obtaining certain goals, but in other ways it may not.
Yeah, if this is something that it's something that you want to show to everybody, you can make it. Yeah, that's what you will choose to do. Yeah, because you want to show the whole world what you're made of,
Right.
what you're capable of. Yeah, and that's good. It's not bad, but all the time that you do the work. Yeah, and if you make the decision, you educate yourself what you have to do, what is stake, what you need to know. Yeah, and then you find support. Because if you miss one of them, you miss all of them. You can't miss anything here.
Wait, so I'm beginning to think that perhaps the first thing that people should do, even making before a decision and so on, they should ask themselves, why am I making the decision? Why am I pursuing this particular goal? What am I doing it for? Am I doing this myself, or am I doing it for somebody else? Because that's an imperative thing. And I say that because I've had situations where friends and clients and so on, they pursue a certain career, and they're not really passionate about it. They may be good at it, but I've had people that try to follow in their father's footsteps or their mother's footsteps and so on, and pursue, being a doctor because his father was a doctor. But that's really what he really wanted to do. He wanted to pursue music. But, his father and his other family members and so on kind of poo-poo that. And even though that's something that he was really passionate about, and that's the goal that he really wanted to pursue, he pursued another goal, but it wasn't really all for himself. It was for basically, again, to get that approval and so on. So, and even though he is an incredible doctor and does really well, it's not something that necessarily makes him, and obviously the other benefits from it, for the income that he gets from it and the accolades and everything else, and the acknowledgments, and obviously, an opportunity to save others' lives. Those are all wonderful things, but it's not something that he's extremely passionate about, where his dream was to be a performer, to be a musician. So I believe that a person should, whenever goals that they do set, right, that perhaps they should be really asking themselves, am I really doing this for myself, as you talked about, or doing it for somebody else? Because I think it's going to manifest itself in other ways if they pursue that goal and even obtain it, but something's going to be lacking, and there's going to be there's a void there that he or she going to be chasing. It may not be aware of it consciously, but there's something that they're going to feel like always not totally fulfilled.
Well, you're aware of that. It's inside job. It's inner conflict that you have in you. Because when you have a dream, the question is my dream or someone else? Yeah. So if it's your dream, and you know how to do it, when it's someone else's dream, you all the time need guidance.
Mm-hmm.
You need some direction. You need some help and support. With somebody else's dream, you don't know the detail because this is not your.
Okay.
Yeah, and usually you're not going to be the best in that because this is not your dream. When it's your dream, every new information about that, you will be the first one to know because that's what you're chasing. So you're going to be all the time ahead of everybody else. When it's not your dream, you all the time behind. You're not in a tap. You're behind all the time because you need to catch up all the time. So you have kind of spare time when you're with yourself that your mind take different direction. You think about something else that's more close to you, close to your dream. Now you see the gap? Yeah? Now we had 24 hours in a day. Yeah? When it's your dream, you're going to spend the whole 24 in that dream. When it's someone else's dream, you're going to spend less time. Now you have gap that you need to fill all the time.
That's true. That's true. So, as far as the objectives, the steps to heading towards a goal for that person, I know you mentioned those 3 steps that people have to take, but what is also something that if a person sees that they're not able to maintain the stamina or maintain the conviction or maintain the motivation to continue pursuing that goal, what is your
It's the support.
support?
This is the support that you need. You need, which is sometimes you pay for that support.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the other time you have it in hand, which is when you have people that believe in you, and they will encourage you, and they will hold you accountable to what you want to get.
So
The support is supposed to be there in either way. Either you pay for it or somebody else provide it for you.
okay. Well, then at the same time, you could also make a request and go to people. Look, I'm going to need your support on this. If, like you were saying before, if a person is trying to maintain a certain type of diet, and he or she, one day is rushing, doesn't have the time to make a certain type of meal for themselves, so they eat out and eat not the right things and so on. How can they request perhaps somebody to make sure that they stay on target and stay on that? Because like you said, once they get into the habit of oh, I did it once, do it twice, like you said, they become a quitter. So what would you suggest for people to pursue as far as asking people to support them? And I say this because, again, when I was working on Short Term Guidance, there's a thing we call the wraparound. So for this particular child, and being able to stay in school. And so we gave him a choice to choose different people that were going to be part of his team, which we talked about here before, that was going to help him. So one person, every single day, will call him, will be responsible to waking him up in the morning and making sure he had a breakfast and, go to school. Another person he chose to help him, after school, to come and meet with him and help him do the homework. Another person he chose to basically, if he was able to follow these different things, that would be there to do something fun with him. So the whole idea was he chose each person to be part of his support team to help him attain that goal of maintaining and staying in school and so on. So is that something that you would suggest as far as, a way of people?
If you can afford it.
It's not afforded. I mean, these are people that he chose to.
I understand. For instance, Tiger Woods, yeah, the golfer.
Yes.
In his peak, he used to have 11 coaches.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have one for relationship, so it's messed up in that arena. Yeah, but he have 11 coaches for 11 different areas in his life. Yeah, that to keep him on the top.
Right.
Yeah, which is mean they didn't let him slip down. So this is the kind of support. Some, as I mentioned before, some people pay for it, pay for that support, and some people have it handy.
And they have it what? Handy?
Yeah. There are people that believe in you and they want to support you.
Right.
Now, when it's come to support, you don't give advice, and you don't lecture, and you don't tell me anything is right or wrong. Nothing. I want your support. I don't want your opinion.
Right.
And there is a thin line between that. When I'm supporting you, I don't ask what you do. I support you.
Right. Well, in this particular situation with a student, there was just assigned tasks, that was done. So one person was responsible for waking him up and getting in the morning. So there's not any advice.
Mm-hmm.
That's how.
No, it's not advice. That's support.
Right. That's how he wanted to support, which I thought was interesting, which it empowered him. That he chose the people that he obviously felt they were reliable and that cared about him enough and loved him enough that would be able to be there for him
Right.
in those particular tasks. So, whatever goal that perhaps a person is pursuing, if she or him are able to say, look, this is the goal that I'm going to be pursuing for this amount of time, for this whatever period of time it is, if it's for the year, for 6 months, 3 months, whatever it may be, will you be there? Will you be able to support me? And this is how I need you to support me in this task,
Right.
and so on.
Yes.
So yeah, I believe that something like that would help. I know one time my sister, one of her goals is to get back in shape, and and she got a friend to be able to go to the gym with her.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's the support.
exactly.
That
Right.
support, which is mean she don't give advice, she don't lecture her, she just go with her. That's what you want. I'm with you.
Right.
You want to go to the moon? I'm with you. I don't ask how. I'm with you. We figure out how to make that. Yeah, and this is the key. If you don't have this kind of support, and you by yourself, so I'll do it for who?
Right.
I have nobody to show, so who cares?
Exactly.
And that's what people fall short on that. Yeah. On the other hand, there is people that self-motivated. Yeah. But if you see, on the most part, they do it for themselves. It's inner job. It's not outside job.
Right. Outside.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is when outside job, which is you want to show other. When it's inside job, you want to show it to yourself.
Right.
That's the difference in the self-motivation.
So let me ask you, Haim, you like I said, you're a frequent guest here on my show, on the show, and I'm curious to why you chose this particular topic for today. Is it because of the timing, as you talked in the beginning, because of the?
First, I love your show.
Okay.
Yeah, and I love being here all the time. And the second is it's about to help people. I mean, people need support. People need to have some knowledge which they don't know. You can't blame them because this kind of stuff not every school teach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if I can help someone, if it's that help for someone, great. I mean, I did something.
I find it interesting because there's so many, for years and decades, there's so many, goal setting is a topic, and it's an important topic because it makes us be able to get out of our beds every day and pursue something that obviously holds meaning to ourselves, that you would hope, or help somebody, have a dream and pursue it. Something that's going to help them be in a better place than where they were before. So that's something that I believe, it's such an important thing. But at the same time, it's interesting because there is a lot of knowledge out there. There's a lot of, books. There's a lot of, coaches such as yourself and others, speakers, you name it, shows, curriculums that are out there, but yet you think with so much information out there that everybody will be, this will be easy for them. So what do you believe is the ultimate challenge for people if there's so much out there available to them that impedes them?
It may sound semantic, but there is different there. When people looking, they're not active. They're sitting, they're observing what's going on, but they're not part.
Okay.
When you search, you're active. When you search, you will find. Yeah? If you don't search, you're not going to find. You just look. What's ever available, you will see it. If you don't see it, it does not exist. Now, on the most part, that's the way people behave. If I don't see it, it's not exist. I don't search for it. I don't need to search for it.
Right.
If you don't search, you're not going to find. You're not going to know what's out there. So you'll be surprised, but many people don't even know about that. They don't give the time to think. Yeah, they take the life the way it is, and this is life. And you hear it with all kind of mantra that people using, cliche, mantra, all kind of phrase that people use every day. Yeah, and basically they say they give up. Not exactly they give up. They take the life the way it is.
Well, it's interesting because as you're saying that, and one of the sayings, the mantras that you're referring to, one of the ones that really bugs me when I hear when people say it is what it is. I do not like the terminology because it seems like they just like you said, giving up. And I always say it is what it is until we choose to be something else, or to become something else, until we choose to make it something else that's going to serve us. When people say that, it feels like it's out of their control. And perhaps some things there's nothing you can really do about it, but a majority of the way, like I believe if there's a will, there's a way. And there's a lot. I think the people that we see that are quote unquote successful, many different levels of success, are the type of people that never say that word. It is what it is, or I can't, or whatever it may be. So yeah, what you said about as far as the difference between looking, where some people just spectate and just observe as opposed to searching. And the operative word that you said also is thinking. A lot of people, I believe, are just kind of on autopilot.
They don't like to think. People don't like to think.
Yeah. Why do you believe that is?
Because that's disrupt your time, that disrupt your day, that disrupt your way of thinking. Because you need to think.
Right.
Everything is a habit.
It's a routine. Again,
routine is a habit. I mean, when you brush your teeth in the morning, you do it in one way for many years, and you will never change it.
Right.
You ever think about that?
No.
Why? Because it's a habit. You're an autopilot.
Right.
And most of our day built as an autopilot, as a routine. We do this, we do that, we do this, we do that. And day by day by day, it's the same thing. When something that's not in line, what's going on here? Now I'm confused. I don't know where to go with that. Your mind, what he does, he go back to safety. Yeah, I go for what's familiar, for what I know, what I feel safe. I'm not going to take risk. I'm not going to go for what I don't know, because I don't know when is that going to lead me, and I don't want anything. So it is what it is. That's what it is, what it is.
Right.
Now, when you want to change it, you need to have some different activity, even in your mind. You brush your teeth this way. Why? You ever think that maybe it's another way?
Right.
Maybe it's in a different way? Maybe it's in a better way? No, I do it for years. So I used to that. Yeah, and everything else, and if you look at that, it's the same pattern. It's routine.
Exactly. Well, Haim, I just want to thank you for coming on the show today again and sharing your thoughts. It was always an interesting conversation.
Oh, I love that.
And to our viewers, I just want to say thank you for another episode here with Conversation with Dr. Silva. And until next time.